Hey guys, welcome to the Infinity Podcast. Today I have a very special guest. This is Chris, one of our members. Chris has been with us for a long time now, and we're going to talk about some of the insights that's kept her active, especially after becoming a retiree, and give you some of her understanding around her mindset when it comes to health and fitness. So Chris, if you'd like to, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about where you're from?
My name's Chris. I'm from Hartburn in Stockton. I am 61 years old, coming up 62. and I've been retired coming up 4 years this month, end of this month.
Are you loving retirement?
Oh, love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, I mean, to get there, so many people look forward to it, and I think a lot, as we said before we jumped on this, like a lot of people fall off a shelf after they've done it, but you've kept yourself active, haven't you?
It's just doing things at a slow pace and you can enjoy it rather than being hectic, rushing around after the family and old relatives and things like that. So it's just lovely.
Cool. So how long have you been here with us? You were there before Infinity, weren't you?
I started at TBC in December 2018.
So a long time now.
6 years.
6 years? I didn't even know it was that long, to be honest.
6 years, yeah.
And all the way through, that lockdown workout sticks in my mind all the time.
Yeah, we did, lockdown. I didn't jump onto the, when you used to do it all online. I did it when we had the tent at the back, side of, so I came back then. But I've 6 years and it's flown by.
It's crazy, isn't it, I think? So what was it then that got you started, Chris?
Well, when I started, I was like mid-50s, and I go to the gym. Well, I paid for a membership. I used to go to the classes, and I remember going to, it was the one at the Stockton Baths, and I went to a kettlebell class, and always wanted to do kettlebell. Went into this kettlebell class. It was huge, packed out. You just picked any kettlebell up, and you had to follow what she did at the front. So no one showed you how to do it, how to hold them, what weight you needed. People were flinging kettlebells all over, and I thought, God, this is a bit dangerous. So I stuck to the spinning. So I just did spinning classes all the time. And then I wanted to do weights, but you went in the gym and no one showed you. Then there was a queue to get on. Then there was nobody there to motivate you to do it. And then I saw you on Facebook and I followed you a bit.
You seen the beard?
And I thought, oh, is this scary? This scary Norseman. And I just did the trial from there. Yeah.
Oh, wicked. I think that's what a lot of people find when they go to commercial gyms is the same sort of. Like you can go into a group, and I mean, I used to have a negative view on a lot of exercise classes when it comes to that sort of setting, because I feel like a lot of people get left behind, particularly the ones who don't know. They just tend to gravitate towards the back of the class. And you'll get the regulars who come in, they'll meet the friends, they'll enjoy that. But as a result of going in and being a first timer, if it doesn't click straight away, you sort of feel like, oh, it's a little bit daunting, this, and especially when it comes to the kettlebells, there's technique involved, there's skill involved within that. I mean, we've put in different elements of kettlebell training. You've done the kettlebell cleans with us, haven't you? And it can be quite challenging to do the first time. When you're doing the weights for the first time, ideally you have someone there to show you. And as a lot of people mentioned, like we've had a number of ladies jump on the podcast and talk about their experiences with going to a commercial gym. If you don't have someone there, it can be daunting.
Yeah. I didn't like it because it made me lazy, because I'd go and do a set and someone would be stood waiting for the machine. So instead of finishing it, I'd just stop. Yeah. And then think, well, why am I wasting my money? So I just stopped going. And then when I discovered you, I still come. I come all. Any time I'm at office, I'm ill or I'm on holiday, and it's just a nice place to come to.
Yeah, I think one of the nice things about it is that, like, when you've been there for a period of time, you get that connection with other people that are there. Now you know Liz anyway, you know a few of the other ladies, and obviously you've been able to encourage them. And I think with you being there so long, it gives them a little bit of a feel for, oh, I might be in the right place because I'm going to stick at this. Yeah. How long were you at the Stockton Baths? I can't believe you call it that. There'll be so many people who still call it Stockton Baths.
Splash,
Splash, yeah.
Oh, well, because I work for the council, we got discounted membership. So I've always had a membership. And but it was always a spinning class. I'd go either the Forum and that. And then when we moved to Muni Buildings, it was over the road. So we'd go to the classes there. But the gym element of it just wasn't, it wasn't for me. As much as I'd love to do the weights, I didn't have any confidence to do them. They give you a quick sort of demonstration, and then everyone else knows what they're doing, and you don't. So I just didn't bother. I just thought no. And then I thought, when I did your trial, I thought I won't last this. Actually, before your trial, we did something at work. We did a 6-week. We got some girl who'd come in doing a degree. And she did a 6-week program, wanted people to do bits. I joined that, and we just went, did a bit of boxercise, we did a bit of circuit training, and I thought, oh, I quite like this. And then when I saw you on Facebook, and I thought, you know, I'm getting old. 5 years time, I'm going to be in my 60s, and that. I've got young grandchildren, and I thought, I don't want to live in a bungalow. I want to get up the stairs.
Yeah.
And so when I saw yours and what you did, and it was a small group, and it wasn't intimidating whatsoever, and everyone was friendly. I mean, in the old TBC, I mean, it was chaotic when you went in, 12 coming in and 12 going out.
Yeah.
And that when we did that, but it was great, and it's structured, and that's what I liked. It was structured, and it was tailored to your individual needs as well as being structured. So it was a no-brainer, it was easy.
Yeah.
So you didn't know you were building your weights up because you did it sneakily, you stuck it
Yeah,
extra.
yeah.
You know, and if you were partnered with someone, they encouraged you and that. So it was so enjoyable. It was just really good fun.
I think that what you mentioned there about the 12, so
Yeah.
the way we used to run it is we used to have 12 in a session, but we'd have 2 coaches.
Yeah.
And generally we'd move the newer people and I'd train them, and then Libby, one of our other founders, would train the people that had been there for a little bit longer. And this allowed us to develop people within the same group setting, but still have a really good vibe within there, so everyone was encouraging. And then it was crazy in the changeover. Yeah. So we'd have we only had like a small 1,000-foot facility at the time, and you'd have another 12 people lined up at the back waiting to get started. So it was really, really good. Like I really enjoyed that space, even though it was small. Like everyone made it work very well. Everyone got out the way. Everyone was supportive and encouraging. And I think I remember back to those days when a couple of times we'd have some of the ladies, like one of the girls had said she didn't want to come in. So we'd encouraged another girl to come in that she actually liked working with, and she come in as a result of that. And I think that's what makes this work so well, is that people get to know other people that they otherwise might not have made a connection with outside the gym. And I've spoke about this a number of times, the impact that's had, where we've had ladies go on holiday together. Like even my girlfriend's gone on a holiday with a couple of ladies she would never have met otherwise than going to the gym. And I think having that vibe, having that community in any gym, not just ours, is what makes it so sticky for people, what makes it so appealing that you're going to continue. Because if you enjoy the exercise, if it's made easy, you've got a structure and you've got someone there who's going to support you, but not be like a PTI screaming and shouting at you when you're struggling, just be understanding and empathetic, you're more likely to stick at it long term. And I just want to touch back there, because one point that you made was, when you started doing this, you started mentioning things about the future, and a lot of people don't think about this, about like you didn't want to fall off the cliff. You wanted to be able to be active for your grandkids, to be able to go out and do things with them. Like, when did that become a driving motivator? Because a lot of ladies will just say, oh, I just want to lose weight, I just want to tone up. Yeah,
I wasn't too bothered about losing weight. It was more like the menopause as well, because you ache like mad on the menopause. Trying to get up off the chair on the menopause is horrendous, and you just ache all the time. Walking up the stairs was hard work. So I'm thinking, if this is with the menopause, when the grandkids are running around. I mean, I've got 3. I've got 11-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 3-month-old one, and they're constantly around our house. So I didn't want to be one of these nanas or grandmas who can't play football with them or can't go on the trampoline with them and that. And because I've always sort of been active, I've never been sort of sitting. I didn't want to just sit when I retire, is sit on the settee and watch the telly all day. So I like taking them to school and that, but we'll walk to school, and you know, they go to St Pat's. I live in Hampton. It's a good half hour, 3/4 of an hour walk. You know, and a 4-year-old after nursery doesn't want to walk home.
Yeah.
But you know, it's fun with them, and I just thought I don't want to be the old nana who can't do anything, and that keeps you going, because the kids need my children need me to babysit as well, for them to go to work. So if I'm not health and fit for them, it'll impact on their life. But it's the joy that the grandkids bring you.
Yeah.
I mean, they keep you young anyway, and that, but it's.
I think that's quite a powerful thing, because from my experience, like with my grandparents, I always remember not so much my nana, because she had so many grandchildren. Like my mum's side of the family, there's like seven of them, so they've got like lots of kids. Whereas my grandma's side of the family, there was only my dad and his brother, who's not here now, and she only essentially had the 4 of us, like the 4 boys. And she would take us to Redcar on the bus, so we go walking, like walk along Redcar and things like that. And she was very, very active right up until the point that she started to develop dementia. But she went quite quickly downhill after my granddad passed. Yeah. And I think that like a lot of the physical activity stuff is tied into that, because my grandparents weren't physically active in their later life. Granddad used to go to the pub, he'd sit on the door at the Rosewood Social Club, and he'd just have a couple of pints there. He found out that he had problems with diabetes, so he stopped drinking, but he was still going up there. Eventually it led to him going up and getting a taxi. Right. Like he wouldn't be walking, so he'd literally sit in the chair at home, he'd go there, he'd sit in the chair, and that sort of developed and snowballed over time. And it's something that I've started to realise now, is that a lot of people don't understand that dementia starts decades before you actually see the symptoms. And I think like what you're doing now, you're taking steps to remain as healthy as possible. And I think the biggest impact in that is not just for yourself. Those kids will remember that, because I remember all the experiences that I had with my grandma, going to Preston Park, playing on the swings and things like that. And it's amazing to have that close community of family that's going to allow you to do those things. And it is great, because I mean, going to the Stockton baths as well, I used to go all the time with my grandma and my granddad when I was younger. So it's lovely to see. Like when you talk about the programme, then what have you noticed as a result of training with us in terms of your strength? And it makes me smile every time I think of this with you, Chris, because remember when we were doing the dowel dislocate? Oh, God, so we have an exercise called a dislocate, and Chris was like, I'll never be able to do this. And I have the video of this somewhere, so hopefully I can share that alongside this.
It took me a year to do it.
It was a year. And basically, you'll grab this dowel and you bring your shoulders right the way back over your head, essentially called a dislocate. You don't dislocate your shoulders, but it is quite challenging, and it assesses someone's mobility when they're joining us. And Chris was determined to do it on this day, and it was right at Christmas, and I just got at the end of it, and Chris is jumping up and down like she got a PB. But that's one of the good things, I think. But what other progress do you feel like you've made?
Well, I am stronger, because even just like carrying your shopping bags in from the car, I don't have to do 3 trips to the car. I can put all 4 or 5 bags in and walk in the house with them.
Do it in one trip.
Yeah. Go and get the dog food. You just put it over your shoulder, and everyone said, "Can I come and help you with that?" I go, no, it's just.
I do the same with Naomi now. I carry Nora, and I'm just like, you can get that. Yeah. And she just throws it on her shoulder every time.
And it's just everyday thing. You don't think about it. So people say, oh, I can't do that, or I can't lift that. Or like if you're decorating and things and you're moving wardrobes, well, I can do that on my own. You know, you know what position to get in to keep yourself safe, to move things because of the lifts that you do. So like your deadlifts, brilliant for like lifting things up the floor, because you squat, you do it properly, and you do it safely. And I just think you just automatically do things, because you've done them at the gym and you think, all right, well, I can easily pick that up now because I've done so many Ks at the gym on that, on your lifts and everything. So it's just simple now. It's just automatic, do it.
Yeah. And I suppose this is probably a question that no one really focuses on. A lot of people, like as you said, you go to the gym. A lot of people go to the gym to tone up, to get fitter, but they never stick it out. Yeah. What in your mind, like when do you slow down?
What, like not going to the gym?
Yeah, have you ever thought about like not going?
No, I mean, I must admit, it's the only thing I've ever stuck to. I've paid gym memberships 2-3 years, gone. You're lucky if I've got a month or so, you know, and you give up. It's probably because I still enjoy it. And what I like is it's varied. So you have a program for so many weeks, then you have your test week, and then you think, oh God, I didn't realise I could lift as heavy as that. And then you change it up again and everything, and it's different. But then you have different people coming in. So I used to go to the classes after work, and used to be the regular people. Then I'm on the half an hour ones now in the morning. And sometimes you go and there's only you there, which is like, oh God.
Why don't you come at 6 o'clock?
When?
Come on.
Get away, I'm just turning over in bed then. I don't have to get up at that time in the morning anymore now. So that's it. No, there's only one 6 o'clock in man, and that's evening time. No, but it's probably because it's still enjoyable. You adapt things, so if I am injured or I'm not well, like last year when I did my foot, you alter things so that I can't not come, I can still come. I can't make that as an excuse, I can't go because my toe's bad. You will amend and adjust the equipment I'm using and the exercises I'm doing, and you tailor it individually to different people. But then it's just enjoyable. It's a structure for me now.
Yeah.
I come 3 days a week, and with me being retired, it's part of my retirement thing. I know them days I'm out on the morning, I get up, I go to the gym, I come back. Then if we want to go out, we mooch and go out and do things. But they'll always be part of my routine now. I can't see, unless I can't physically drive or get to the gym, I can't see me not doing it.
Yeah.
As long as you're still here when I'm 80.
Yeah. Well, I have no. To be honest, this is one of the things for me. I don't see it as a job per se. I mean, I don't spend as many hours on the gym floor at the moment,
like you used to,
because I'm essentially I've adopted the role that so many people come to me to work with. I'm in front of a computer. I'm doing things like this because I'm trying to bring a lot of awareness to people. And it's interesting that you say that, because we know that so many people that go through this turmoil of like, oh, I need to go to the gym, I'll start. Right, oh, I haven't got time, and they convince themselves that they don't have the time.
Yeah.
But realistically, every single time that they give up on that is like putting them in a position where further down the line, they might not recognise it now, but their energy levels are going to dip, their mobility is going to decline, and they're probably going to find day-to-day tasks like carrying the shopping becomes 5 trips, or they have to ask someone to get the dog food or whatever. And I want to touch on, do your friends ever say to you, oh, I need to go to the gym?
They do, and they keep saying to me, "You're still going?" Because especially when I'm retired, I was out with the girls from work the other day, and they were saying, "Are you still going to barbell?" Because I still call it barbell.
Yeah.
You're still going? I went, "Yeah," and they keep saying to me, "Oh, I know we should join," but some of them have got young families and that, and their lifestyle's a bit busier than mine now. But then when I was working full time, I had the grandkids still. I had 2 boys, and I had 2 elderly parents before their pass running around after them, but I still came here because this was my sanctuary. This was like my time, me time. And that, but my friend, I mean my older friends, same age as me, none of them go to the gym at all. They go, oh, I don't know what you do that. And they're not interested in it at all. And that, but my younger friends are at work, some of them go. I've got one who's quite dedicated to it, but most of them dip in and dip out. They haven't found, I don't think they've found one that they truly love, and I think that's the difference. I love coming here and it's part of my life. I remember once when my daughter was in hospital having her tonsils out and it was visiting time, and she wanted me to go up to visit her, and I said, oh, I've got barbell, now your dad will have to come. So I didn't go, and she's never forgiven me. She's reminding me, she said, remember when you went to barbell and you wouldn't come and see me? I said, well, I came the next day.
You just say, so you can look after the grandkids, isn't it?
Just on the wrong day.
Just keeping yourself healthy and fit. So, I mean, this happens a lot where there'll be times where someone has friends and they'll see that you're doing things with your health and fitness, and they do make comments like, and they're just genuine like comments. I don't know how you do it, but it's crazy to think, because on the other side of that, you might be thinking, well, I don't know how you don't have that vision for the future, because I think a lot of people put it at the back of their mind and don't really focus on it. Like they're not focused on longevity.
Yeah.
They're not really, they're focused on the here and now, or the quick fixes that we both know. Like obviously you've been through the nutrition element, you've worked with the online program that you've done with that, and we talked a little bit, and we'll probably dive into that a little bit as well, about the methods that you use for this. Because I think one of the most important things when it comes to getting in shape is understanding what's right for you.
Yeah.
Like the way that you do things, and I suppose we will touch on that, is slightly different. Like I spoke to one of the ladies on here, Stacey, who does a lot of meal prep, and like your method of doing it is slightly different. It's more manageable around like you weigh yourself daily.
Yeah.
You'll take an average of that. A lot of people weigh themselves daily, but that's their dictation of how they feel on that day.
Right.
So if they jump on the scales, they've gone up by 2 pounds, they feel rubbish.
Yeah.
They start to punish themselves, whereas you don't do that, do you?
No, because it's like, I always know if I jump on the scales on a Sunday morning after a Chinese on a Saturday, I'm 4 pounds up. But that's just all water retention and that. So, but average over that week, I might be a pound down or I might maintain. So I've never ever been dictated, even though I weigh myself every day and I've done that for years. It's based on the average. It's when the average is going up week after week that I think, oh, I'm either not getting my steps in or I'm not eating as healthily as I know I can eat. So I don't have issues with food. I mean, I cook everything from scratch anyway, and when I do them in my meal plan. That gives me all the nutritional value and gives me what it is. So when I weigh my portion out, it tells me where all the proteins, the carbs are and everything. And I do that when I feel I need to lose a bit of weight. So I tend to do that after Christmas. You put weight on after Christmas, I'll go for a month and I'll do properly weigh myself, make sure I stick to my 1800 calories, get all my steps in. I'll go back down to my maintenance weight and then I'll maintain. But that's why I weigh every day, because if I don't, and I go 6 months later, all of a sudden I could be a stone heavier, half a stone heavier. It creeps up. So I just keep that as a constant. But because I come to the gym, I feel I don't have to worry so much about my weight because it balances it out a little bit. So if I eat too much, I'm working out anyway.
So I think that's a really good way to look at it. And obviously for people who are watching or listening to this, it's really important to understand your own tendencies around this, because Chris's mindset is slightly different to Stacey's, who we've already talked to about this. But you stepping on the scales every day doesn't dictate the way that you feel. No. You eating the way that you want, particularly around the periods that are coming up like Christmas, doesn't dictate the way that you feel afterwards, because so many people will go into January thinking, oh, I feel crap, I feel rubbish, I need to get on a diet. Yeah. Whereas like you know that just some simple changes, like just going back to your normal routine after Christmas is enough to get you back to maintenance. And then you know what you need to do in order to stay there, and you just monitor it, whether it's week by week, month by month. You can check the trend and then make adjustments based on that. Like if you were going away on holiday, you can make adjustments if you want to lose a little bit of weight. And it's not something that has a negative impact on you. Whereas a lot of people will struggle with that.
Yeah, I've never been obsessed too much with my weight. I'd rather be healthy and fit, and you can still be healthy and fit and be a bit overweight. But I know, I mean, my BMI says I'm obese anyway, but I mean, that's a load of rubbish BMI anyway. I go on how I feel, I still get my clothes and I still exercise. I can't imagine not exercising now. I think that'll, even when I'm in my care home, I'll have my little dumbbells in my chair next to me. But I just think it's just part of everyday life now. And because my husband's active still, my children have always been sporty, my grandkids are active. I didn't want to be the one who wasn't. So it's like, it's just nice. But the gym element of it is my time. That's me. You know, I'm Christine and I'm not mum, I'm not grandma, I'm not wife. Yeah. You know, so it's me. And the girls there are brilliant. It's not a bitchy group whatsoever. I've been 6 years and I wouldn't say anybody says gossips about anybody or it's a lovely, positive environment to be in. It's really nice. It's
lovely to hear things like that, but I mean, one of the biggest things is the support that you see between each other. Yeah. Like obviously, when someone comes in through the door, and I've seen you do this a couple of times, Chris. Someone will be new coming in through the door, and based on your role that you did previously with talking to people role, you're very comfortable in like just saying to someone like and explaining the process that you've been through, and it does put people at ease. And a lot of people don't recognise that, because the first time you walk through the door, you can see it in people's eyes that are just a little bit like looking around, they're a little bit nervous, they're tense, their body's really rigid. And we try and make sure that someone's put at ease before that even happens. So when you first started, we've changed things up a little bit. We used to bring what you talked about with going to Stockton baths. I'm still calling it that now anyway. What you talked about with going there, you get an induction. They'll give you a basic programme and they'll show you how to get started with it, but they don't take you any further. Whereas we do what we call an evaluation. Previously, it's now a health MOT, because we realise how important some of the factors are that we measure. We'll get them to come in, and that's our way to get to know them. They come into the gym, they're with a coach, we'll talk them through the whole process, help them to understand it, and then when they come into the first session, we introduce them to the ladies like yourself and make them feel at ease. And I think that's one of the fundamental things. And obviously, being around someone like yourself who's been there for 6 years, we've got Maria who's been there for 10 years, Stacey had only been there for 18 months, and we've got lots of other ladies who are at different stages of the journey. The support that you get from that is what keeps people coming long term. And I think when someone's so bought into the health and fitness, when someone's got an identity shift as you have, where it's about what it allows you to do in the future, not just right now, it means that you can tell people that you're not going to go and visit them in the hospital in order to get to the gym to work on yourself. And I mean, obviously, if you miss a session, it's fine. It's not gonna stop your progress as long as you get back in. But what a lot of ladies, and I don't know whether you agree with this, a lot of ladies will set themselves up for perfection. I need to go 3 times a week. I need to make sure that I'm on this diet 7 days a week in order to get the outcome. Otherwise, it won't work. Like, what do you feel about that? Like,
I still do me 3 times a week, and I like me 3 times a week, and I sort of keep that as a routine. But if, like, especially in the summer, so if we decide, because we're both retired now, if we decide we want to go out somewhere, and sometimes we'll just say, oh, we've took the dog with us, we'll stay overnight, and I've got barbell the next day, I'll just cancel it, and then I can book on another session if I need to. But I don't feel guilty if I miss it, and it doesn't stop me doing things. It's part of my routine, but I will work around it. So when I'm ill, I don't come in. And that. But then sometimes I think, am I really ill? Can I come in? And sometimes, like in the summer, I think that's why I do a 9:30 session, because I thought if we go out for the day, we can still go out after 10:30. By the time Dave's walked the dog, I've been in the gym, we come back, then we can go out for the afternoon. But if we stay overnight somewhere, book a B&B to stay, I don't have to come and I'm on a session next day. I can cancel. It's easy to do on the app. You know, I can do it. But I do like sticking to it. But I don't think, I've never made it sort of like, I need to go and I've got to go, and other parts of my life take a backward seat because of it. This is just part of my routine now. I just do it, and you know, and 3 times is enough for me. You know, I did come a couple of the sessions on the night, and that, but I thought, no, I didn't really. I felt more of a struggle trying to come to the ones when I was doing them five sessions a day. But I've got me 3 SGT ones, and I love them, and I'll stick to them.
I mean, the big thing is like you've got like something that you're aiming for, but it's not dictated by if you're ill. If you're going on a holiday, you're quite comfortable with that. If you have those periods where you're having time off, you can get back into the routine. And I think that's one of people's biggest challenges, is they worry themselves so much that when they stop, it ends up becoming 2 days and 3 days. And it's similar to the scales. Like, if they have a weekend where they eat a little bit more, they overindulge, they end up feeding that into the following week, and then it becomes like, oh, what's the point? What's the point in doing it? And I think that's what happens in most gyms, because they don't have that same level of support and accountability. Like, we know that if you're going to have time off, you'll message us on WhatsApp. You know that if you were having time off and you didn't reach out to us, we'd message you, because it's important to us to help you work on those goals of being healthier, being stronger, so that you can run around with the grandkids, keep up with everyone else. And you'll probably notice more and more as you get older, like people around you will struggle with that.
Yeah.
And if you've already got the mindset to keep on doing it, like you won't be one of those people that's struggling. You'll find that things are a lot more manageable, day-to-day tasks. I mean, I love the stuff whenever anyone tells me about going to get the shopping, like going to B&Q is another good one. Marie mentioned about putting the baggage in the overhead locker. And she's not the tallest, but like being able to have the strength to do that without having to ask someone. It's not just about being able to do the thing, it's the confidence it gives you to be able to do it as well, because a lot of people will just be like sheepish about it, and you'll see people that they'll look around as a way to manage getting the dog food or whatever, or they drag it along the floor, and someone will come over and say, "Oh, do you want to hand with that?" But having the confidence to just pick it up, and then someone does ask you, and you're like, "No, I'm fine."
It's all right, I'm fine.
Yeah. So I mean, in terms of moving forward, then, like, do you have any goals or aspirations for 2025, or like what are you focused on?
I don't plan things like that. I'm very happy just continue where I am, build up my weight as I want to. I'm not competitive or obsessive on anything like that. I just want to keep coming here. So next year I'll do another year, and that'll be my 7th year, and I'll get to my 10th year, and that's my aim, just to keep coming all the time. There's lots of support that you can do, and lots of people get involved in lots of things, but you don't make anyone feel guilty if they don't want to. No. I'm happy just coming, doing my 3 sessions, and then going. I don't fill in my online MOT forms or anything like that, because I'm not interested in that. But you don't make me feel guilty that Oh, you haven't done this, you should have done this. So I'm very comfortable, and you make us all feel comfortable in doing what you want to do and how you feel. So for me, my goal is just to keep continuing to come here until I can't.
I love to hear that. The main thing is just supporting you where you're at. Like, obviously, if you ever feel like you need some help and support, it's there when you need it. It's not going to be pushed on you when you don't need it. Because at the end of the day, I mean, one of the big things that sort of gets me, and this is just my personal peeve, is like when we share before and after photos. Now, I've done this in the past, and as a coach, like as like a moral and an ethical thing, I always felt wrong in doing it. I'm not saying that it is wrong, it's just the way that it makes me feel, because I feel like it's using someone else's success as a projection of what's actually happened. Whereas for me, success is hearing the stories where you can do the bags in one go. You can put your bag in the overhead locker. You've got the strength to walk up the stairs without having pain. You've been able to recover from an injury, or you've been given that support when you come into the training sessions around an injury to keep on going. Because if your mindset's positive in that way, all that other stuff, if you decide to take on board a diet and you want our help, we're there. If you decide to focus on a strength goal of a 100 kilo deadlift, it's going to be there. Some of the ladies will do that, other ladies won't be bothered about it. We have the testing week to assess where you're at. If that's maintenance and you're still at the same strength, that's great. But I mean, the main thing is understanding where the person is at. And it's great to hear that you're at a place right now where you think, I'm just going to come to the gym, do my 3 sessions. I want to enjoy me time as well, because that's a key component I'm getting from that, and just focus on moving forward with that. So I mean, there's pretty much nothing else that I wanted to cover within that. I think it's great that you come down. I absolutely love your mindset when it comes to things like this, Chris, and I think it's a huge boost for a lot of people coming in. The positivity that you bring to the sessions, and the banter as well.
We just had a good session this morning, poor Bradley.
I know, when I walk into the session, I'm just like, oh. And he asked one of the girls what was, did they want to have a mat and chat, and they were like, nah, you don't want to hear what's gone on there. So I mean, people can open up in the sessions, and they can have a chat with us at any point, whether it's fitness related or not, because we want people to feel like they're supported. But I mean, what I'll do then is we'll end it there. I'm loved having a chat with you. It's great to get some insights, and I look forward to seeing you continue for 10 years, hopefully.
As long as you keep open, I'll keep coming.
We'll still be doing it. Right, guys, thanks for watching this one. I will see you in the next one.